Heyo everybody, Haku here with this season's video on what anime I'm gonna be watching and reviewing, and also the place where I get input from you on what you want me to watch or review. So, yeah, I have this here filtered on LiveChart, which is what I've started using at the request of you all recently, and I have this sort of filtered by air date, which is the way I usually like to look at it. But yeah. Fall 2018, this is going to be sort of the thing where I watched the PVs for all of these, and so I'm going to talk to you all a bit about what I think of each show and why I am or am not going to watch it. And in addition to that, I guess it's kind of like a thing where if you don't look at all the PVs and stuff yourself, you can look at my videos, some of other people's who do the same thing to say what they're going to be watching or not for their channels or otherwise, and look at that and get kind of an idea of what you yourself want to watch. So what I have marked here, there's only one thing in blue, and that's going to be what I'm guaranteed. There's only one show I feel like I'm guaranteed to review. Green are going to be shows that I'm going to try to watch as they're airing. I might be able to stick with them week to week. I might fall a couple episodes behind and catch back up, but they're things that I'll be able to talk to you all about, whether I make videos on them or not. There'll be things that I can talk to you about on Discord or Twitter or in the comments because they're things I'm watching. Yellow doesn't mean I'm going to never watch them or anything. I'm just not going to watch them as they're airing, and I'll just marathon them at a later date probably. But I have them yellow marked so I can remember, hey, maybe get back to them sometime. And red are just ones that, again, it's not like I plan to never ever ever watch them, but I don't plan on watching them anytime soon, if ever. So that's kind of the way things generally are. But like I said, this is a place where you can give your feedback too, so if you want me to watch or to review a certain series, definitely comment down there and tell me, because it'll affect what I do a lot. Just like last season, two things that I didn't have marked green were Planet With and Grand Blue, and I had people telling me to watch both of those, so I watched Grand Blue, didn't really like it that much, so I dropped it, and I watched Planet With and really enjoyed it. So it's one of those things where, you know, if you want me to review something or to watch it, just tell me and I'll at least give it a try. And another thing with this is, for the past 2 seasons, really, I've only been reviewing Boku no Hero Academia, and it kind of disappoints me because I used to love reviewing all these seasonal anime. So I want to replace Boku no Hero Academia, since it's ending, with 3 more shows if I'm inspired to do more than 3, or if you guys really want me to do more than 3, I will. Or if I'm only inspired by 2, I'll only do 2, but I think that I'm going to end up with 3 or more that I want to review weekly. So, yeah, before I get into it show by show, some thoughts on the season as a whole. The past 2 seasons, a lot of the reason I haven't been reviewing, other than being very busy back then, and like I said a few weeks ago, my schedule's gotten better, and I feel like my YouTube schedule's improved because of it. But my thing with the past 2 seasons is no shows, even the ones I've watched, none of them really inspired me to review them or anything, but this season looks as good as some of the 2017 seasons, or this year's winter season. This season looks really good on average. There's a lot of really interesting shows, a lot of shows that really interest me personally, and a lot that seem like they're going to be just super high quality. So, without further ado, let me get into, I love how I'm using my same setup on OBS from last time I recorded one of these. I still have this little strip, hold on, down here, where the cow print is to help cover up that part of the screen. It's great. So, yeah, either way, let's talk about this show by show. Like I said, I watch PVs for everything. Kira Kira Happy Hirake Kokotama. Whoa, my CPU fan just went crazy. But yeah, either way. First one, it's a kids anime. Kids anime isn't something that I typically watch. The only exception to that, I think, would be the Katria Layton show that's been going on. I really like that. But other than that, kids anime, just not my thing. Fully Cooley alternative. I saw Fully Cooley on Toonami and stuff when I was younger. Like I think how most people were introduced to the series that I've heard of. I never really liked it that much though, So I'm not saying I'll never watch this, and I think there was another series that aired last season for Fully Cooley. I'm not saying I'll never watch it, just not as it's airing probably. Beatless Final Stage. I started watching Beatless in... Hold on, I'm going to take a jump cut, wait for this train to pass. So yeah, Beatless Final Stage. It's supposed to be the final 4 episodes of Beatless. I started watching it back in winter when I think it started airing in winter and carried on into spring. I started watching it but fell out around, I think episode 12-ish. I think I fell out around the mid-core break. So I'm not going to be watching it week to week because I'm behind on it, but eventually I'll catch up and finish out the series. For those of you wondering what I thought of it, it wasn't bad. It was okay. Like, it was something that I'd maybe give like 6.5, 7 out of 10. Like, it was a pretty okay show, pretty serviceable. There were things I liked about... Well, things I liked about it, like the setting. I thought it was a really good setting. The story itself, though, and like the production quality and stuff was all kind of just okay, though. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like amazing. Double Decker Doug and Kirill looks really creative and weird, and I like it. I'm into it. So, yeah, they have this description here, but the description and the PV are just a bunch of confusing stuff. Just know that it looks like a cool, fun action series, like one of those action series. I don't want to say like Kill la Kill, but one of those ones where it's just fast paced and there's a ton of crazy stuff happening. That's what the PV looks like, and it had a really fun PV and a really cool art style, and I think that's why I really want to watch it. It might be one of those that I fall behind on here and there and try to catch back up on. I don't know if I'll stick to it week to week to week, but I might. It looks really, really nice, and actually the animation somewhat reminds me of Garo Vanishing Line from last season, which I really enjoyed. Or not last season, but last year. Then next we have... Hold on, let me scroll up to make sure this is not blocked by my face cam. Yeah. Akenasasu Shoujo, which looks really cool. It seems like it's this group, like this what is it, Crystal Radio Club, but they get sent to some sort of isekai, kind of, at times. And again, it's one of those that looks, I don't want to just sit and read the descriptions themselves, more just give my thoughts after watching the PVs, but it looks really creative, really cool. If you're into the sort of Battle Girl type of show, it seems like it's going to be sort of like that. The tags are action sci-fi, so it's something that really interests me. The production quality looks pretty good. So yeah, I would recommend checking that one out if you're into action. Tensai Shitara Slime Datteken. I've heard a lot about this one, whether it's based on it says right here, light novels. I've heard a lot about the light novels, actually, but the idea of this lonely 37-year-old becoming a slime and an isekai sounds like it's just set up to be some ecchi harem nonsense. And then I could look at the tags and see neither ecchi nor harem, but I watched the PV, and the PV looks really good. It looks kind of like a refreshing and creative isekai. It looks like a lot of fun to watch. So there's generally a lot of good isekai airing this season. There's generally a lot of isekai airing every season these days. But this in particular looks really good, and there are a lot of isekai that I plan to watch because they look really good this season. The animation quality, again, looked like one of the better animation quality PVs I saw. Of course, we had the second season for Seten no Ken's Regenesis series. I actually haven't watched the original way back in the 80s or whenever it was from. I haven't watched the original. I haven't watched the first part of Regenesis, so I'm not going to watch this. At least not now. It's something that I could watch for in the future. Uchu Senkan Tiramisu. The first part of it looked interesting, so I could end up watching that and watching this at some point, but again, not now because I haven't watched the first one. Ken and Ken Aoki Kageyaki. I'm really not sure what to think of this one because it's based on a Chinese game, and I think it's actually a Chinese animation, isn't it? But it's just an but it's just like a Japanese version. See, I'm not sure what to think about it. And the reason I marked it as yellow instead of green or anything is because I know sometimes, or a lot of times, if it is a Chinese animation, Crunchyroll won't have it, and even the less good sites to use usually won't even have shows like that. So that's why I marked it yellow. It might be hard to find and watch, and it didn't look amazing enough for me to want to go out of my way to search for it. But again, if you're into that kind of thing, I know there are fans of Chinese animation. If you're into that kind of thing, maybe look into it. Bakutsuri Bar Hunter, just another kids anime, kind of in the whole Yokai Watch, Yu-Gi-Oh kind of style that they have all the time. I think Puzzle and Dragons like that too, so again, not my thing. Bar Hunter, though, makes me think, do you remember there was some kind of fad or something when I was a kid? I was kind of getting like older, kind of getting out of that kind of stuff at the time, but there was something where like you scanned the barcodes and they made it into like digital monsters or something. Is that what this is like? Is that what this is, kind of? Like, thinking back on it, that's like such a weird thing to think, just going around scanning barcodes on stuff. So yeah, is that what this is? I have no idea. Jingai-san no Yome looks weird as hell, but the kind of weird as hell that's kind of up my alley, so I really want to give it a chance. It's just a short form, so it's not like it's going to take a bunch of time out of my day to check out 5 minutes a week. Kaze ga Tsuyoku Fuiteru looks really good. Now, normally the kind of sports drama anime isn't my thing, but holy god, the PV, the animation looks incredible, and the story about these racers and two sidelined athletes coming together, like, everything about the story in the PV looks like it's going to be one of those big, special, feelsy, almost movie quality kind of series like we had with A Place Further Than the Universe back in winter. So even though the sports drama stuff isn't usually my thing, I really want to check it out because it looks like it's just going to be damn good, whether it's my personal preference or not. That's a leftover from last season that I didn't watch. I think there are fans of this, though. It's a spinoff of the Kaiji series, but I didn't know the series, which is why I didn't watch it. Leftover for Captain Tsubasa 2018. Didn't watch the original, and again, I'm not a huge fan of sports anime. Hora Mimi ga Mizeru yo. I'm not into Shonen Ai. Again, like with the sports anime thing, though, if a Shonen Ai came along that looked like it was going to be like really good, I might still watch it. But again, it's not my thing, and it doesn't look entirely impressive or anything. Sora to Umi no Aira, the concept of it with all these girls and all the fish in the ocean disappear, but somehow they have fish in tanks up in space for some reason. The science in this seems like it's going to be like really like not good. It's much more fantasy than science, but it looks really interesting. Like, it reminds me a lot of some other shows that I've seen in the past with kind of these weird concepts and the girls in spacesuits and stuff. But I think it's going to be really cool. It's one that I could see myself maybe reviewing. Like, the story concept seems so weird that it makes me want to watch it. So, yeah, I would say that's another one. And the animation quality looked great and all. So I'd say that's another one that's probably one of my top ones that I'm looking forward to this season. I don't know if I should call it Rewrite D? Tokigoe no Derera. So this looks really good. It's a guy, I'm pretty sure the robots take over and he's frozen in time in a machine or something for however many years. But before that happens, his colleague tells him, take care of my daughter or whatever. So when he wakes up, he goes to try to find her. That seems really intriguing. It's also by Geek Toys, and I believe I looked them up when I first watched all the PVs last week, and this is their first anime, I think, but it looks quite good. But we'll see. What was it? Kokoku was the first anime for Geno Studios, and it was really good. So we'll see what they do if they can have a good first showing. And of course, a ton of people loved, what was it? The Saga of Tanya the Evil. I really like that too. Yojo Senki, that's what it was. And that was Studio Nut's first individual TV anime. Next up is something I feel like a lot of you might like and might want me to try to check out. And something I might try to check out, but I just don't know about it. Seishun Buta Yero wa Bunny Girl Senpai no Yume wo Minai. Well, so, it looks like one of those that's just going to be cheesy sexualized school romance, and that's totally not my thing. I could check it out if it looks really good, or you all think I should, and it does look pretty alright, but just the description and the basic plot, or not really plot, the basic setting of it is something that I'm usually not a big fan of. Next up we have leftover short form, Bang Dream, Garupa Pico. Don't know anything from the Girls Band Party series, and I didn't start watching it before. Zombieland Saga. I am incredibly excited for Zombieland Saga. Because I like zombie series, I've said that before. The character designs and animation looked really cool. MAPPA is one of my favorite studios. When I did the Haku Awards for 2017, I gave MAPPA Studio of the Year because of all the great shows it had in 2017. So between it being a studio I like, it being a concept I like, and everything else around it, it looks really cool. Don't know how it'll actually turn out, because there is some weirdness in the PV, and the PV wasn't totally how I expected it. So who knows how it'll actually end up, but my expectations are high, I'll say. Banana Fish, a lot of people loved that last season, but I never watched it. Maybe I'll have to get to it at some point. Devi Doll, very little was shown or has been shown anywhere about this series. Even the studio hasn't been named anywhere I've looked to try to look up this show elsewhere on other sites. So between having no information and it being a short form, I guess I'm just gonna skip it. Gakuen Basara, again, I know nothing about the Capcom series it's based on, and that's basically why. It doesn't look like a bad show. In fact, the PV was pretty alright, but I just know nothing of the series it's based on. Bakumatsu looks a lot like, what was that show I watched? I think it was fall of last year, maybe it was summer of last year. It was the one about the vampires and werewolves. Gosh, I don't remember the name of it. But it seems kind of like that, where it's like a bunch... It's like, you know, the whole cute girls doing cute things genre that I myself am a fan of? It's one of those cute boys doing cute things type of shows. So again, not exactly up my alley. If it looked like it was going to be really, really good or impressive, I would watch it. But it just doesn't look like my thing, and doesn't look like enough to go out of my comfort zone to watch it when there are so many good shows airing. Another Inazuma 11 series. Haven't watched Inazuma 11. Again, sports anime, not totally my thing. Tonari no Kyuuketsuki-san. So this one is a vampire slice of life comedy. You all know I love slice of life comedies, and I really, really enjoy slice of life comedies, especially that are based on kind of supernatural stuff or monster girls, that kind of thing, because it's just a fun thing to base your jokes off of and play the jokes off of. So this is as much up my alley as can be up my alley, and it might be really fun to review as well, because I could because it's just one of those simple things where I'm like, oh, this was funny, I enjoyed this, and everybody in the comments says, oh, this was funny, I enjoyed this, and it's just a nice, happy, positive thing to talk about and discuss on the channel. But surprisingly, there are usually a few series like this every season. There aren't many like that this season. Not many slice of life comedies in general this season, which I find interesting. But I'm looking forward to this a lot. The PV looked nice too. Next up, we have our only shoujo ai, I believe, this season, Yagate Kimi ni Naru. Those of you again that know me know your boy loves shoujo ai, as I always say. And in addition, this one looks like it's going to be a good series, whether shoujo-ai or otherwise. So again, I'm looking forward to it. I reviewed Citrus. This looks like it might be even better than Citrus, even though Citrus is kind of a big name when it comes to shoujo-ai manga. I haven't heard of this manga before, but the anime looks really cool, and it is something that I could review again, just spreading the love for shoujo-ai. Next, Hinamaru Zumo, and I will say, sports anime and a bunch of half-naked guys sumo wrestling, not my thing, but I was almost tempted to maybe give it a shot. I don't know. It wasn't quite good enough for me to think that, because I'm not that into the genres, but I will say the PV looked really, really good if that's the kind of thing you're into. So if you're into like martial arts or sports type anime, or anime with a huge male cast, I would totally say check out Hinamaru Zumo. Even though I'm not watching it myself, it looks really good. Next up, the one that I am certain, absolutely sure that I'm reviewing, Towaru Majutsu no Index 3. I have been waiting for this for the longest time. And I've kind of said this before, but the Towaru series is one of the anime that got me into anime, really. Now, it's not one of the absolute first ones I watched, like Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Outlaw Star, but it is one of the kind of first ones I've watched, alongside like Death Note, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Code Geass. And it's one of those series that I was obsessed with, I absolutely loved, and for the longest time it was my favorite series. I think now Little Witch Academia and Boku no Hero Academia have come along and taken spots 1 and 2, and Towaru Majutsu no Index / Railgun, they might be my third favorite series, but who knows, Index 3 can start bumping them back up. So I'm incredibly excited. Can you imagine if you all are fans of this series as well? I don't know how long you've stuck with it, but we had Index in 2009, then 2007 we had Index, then we had Railgun 2009, 2011 we got Index 2, and we got Railgun S in 2013. It's been, well, since the last Index, 7 years, but it's been 5 years since we've gotten to have any Towaru, so I've been missing this so much. I will say, before I get into reviewing it, I know some, like I said, I was obsessed with the series, so I haven't read the light novels because I didn't want to spoil myself for whenever we did get a new anime, but I know a few things about what's coming. Not like specifically, but like I've seen a few characters before. I don't know really much about them or what they do or anything, but I have seen them, so I know some general stuff. But I'm just so excited. I guess what we'll get into next is whatever was going on with the Catholic Church and the Roman Orthodox Church at the end of Season 2 of Index is where we ended off, because we had the main villain was Vento, and that means we got, Terra, Fiamma, and Aqua, and we even saw Aqua at the end of the season, and there was this one little promo PV thing that had Terra in it. So yeah, I guess that's what we're going to have next. So I'm excited for Towaru Majutsu no Index 3, and that's the one that I am for sure reviewing no matter what. Guruzeni Season 2, didn't watch the first season, not really into sports anime. You get the gist by now. Kitsune no Koe looks pretty interesting. It's a music anime, not interesting enough with all these other great shows for me to devote to trying to watch it week to week, though, because I already have like 20 shows that I said, oh yeah, I'm watching this week to week, or trying to, at least giving it a shot. Uchi no Maid ga Uzasugiru looks like another one that I could review. It has a buff, cute maid and a cute lolly as the main characters, and it looks hilarious. I am all in on this show. I'm 100% watching it week to week, and I could see myself very likely reviewing it. With the reviews, though, I'm going to start with, as soon as the first episode of Towaru comes out, I'm going to be reviewing it. But for other shows, if the show really inspires me, then as soon as I watch it, I'm going to want to review it. But for a lot of them, I'll probably wait until the first or second episode of everything I'm watching is out, so that I can kind of say, okay, this is all of what I'm watching, which ones of those do I want to review, really? So that's how the review system may go for me. Dakaritai no Otoki 1e ni Odosarete imasu. So, yeah, another shonen ai. Again, not really my thing. Just shonen ai is not really my thing. The next JoJo's Bizarre Adventure series, I haven't watched any JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Is that something, if I ever did, would you want me to, like, watch it for the channel if I ever started watching it? Yeah, because I want to watch it eventually because so many people talk it up, but I haven't ever watched it. This one, Hishiku Gakko no Juliet, I was tempted to mark this one green. It's basically a school comedy version of Romeo and Juliet. Basically exactly that. But the thing with it is that the story doesn't look that great. The whole school romance thing, especially if it's just Romeo and Juliet, doesn't really interest me very much. The only reason I might watch it is because, damn the white-haired girl in the PV. Holy hell, I would watch it for her. So there is still a chance I could watch this. Maybe even weekly. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. I could watch it just for the white-haired girl, though. Okoshias Chitose-san. So, this is just a cute little penguin short-form thing that I'm probably just going to watch a little in my spare time. Iruzuku Sekai no Ashita Kara. This is the other one, in addition to that sports anime I said I was watching earlier. This is the other one that I think could be anime of the season. The animation and the story behind it looks like it could be movie quality. It's about, like, this girl descended from witches that goes back in time to hang out with her 17-year-old grandmother or whatever in high school, and it looks like it's just going to be a really deep and emotional story, and I'm totally here for it. It looks like it's going to be incredible. That's another one I could review. I haven't really reviewed a show like that before, but I really feel like I could with this one, if that's something you want to see on the channel again. Again, I'm relying a lot on you to tell me what you want to see this season for the channel. Next two, kids anime, don't know much about them. They're just kids anime. Then the next season for an anime on, what is it? That'd be Phoenix Wright, right? I haven't played any of the games either. So, I don't know anything about the series, didn't watch the first season, so sorry, just not my thing, I guess. Radiant was one. Looking at that art right there, I thought, oh, that's just going to be typical generic isekai, not very good. And then I watched the PV, and the PV blew me away. The animation looks really, really nice. And I'm thinking about reviewing it, just because, again, a lot I'm thinking about reviewing, but it really surprised me and blew me away, because I was expecting, just crappy little isekai, and then I watched the PV, and I'm blown away, so shocked by how good it looks. So I'm very interested in that one. ssss.gridman. Looks like it could really, really redeem Trigger. Like, Trigger was my favorite studio. I was such a fanboy of it. And then they made Darling in the Franxx, which, look, I don't care. I don't want to shit on anything people like. You can like what you like. I like a bunch of terrible shows. A bunch of shows that I would consider terrible. I still really enjoy them. But Darling in the Franxx was objectively really, really bad. That doesn't mean you can't like it or find it enjoyable or entertaining, but it was really, really bad. So I'm hoping Trigger can kind of redeem themselves, because I lost so much respect for them with Darling in the Franxx. I really, really hope they can redeem themselves with Gridman. So I'm excited to watch it and to see what they can do. Then we have Sword Art Online Alicization. And that's another show. I'm really not a big fan of Sword Art Online. Those of you that know me know this. I gave Gun Gale Online a try, and I really, really liked Gun Gale Online. But Alicization is back to the main series with Kirito, I think, and I'm just not into it. I just don't think it's very good personally, so, not my thing. But if it is your thing, check it out. I'm sure it's going to have great animation because it's a big budget series, and it's being done by A1. So I'm sure it's going to look great if that's something that you're a fan of. And then Goblin Slayer looks really... I don't know that I've heard of White Fox. Goblin Slayer looks really great. It's another one where I've heard a lot about the light novels. I've heard a lot about it before watching it, so that kind of has me hyped up and has my eyes on it, just because it has this hype surrounding it, and it looks really, really good. It looks like the action fantasy of the isekai, but without any of the just overused fan service and stuff like that. But was Goblin Slayer the one with the huge tits in the PV? There was one of these isekai that had just huge tits in the PV. That might have actually been Goblin Slayer, but still, it looks great. It looks really, really great. We have Sonotoki Kanojo wa, which is a story about 4 different women in different walks of their lives and their romance stories and all of that. Again, just not my thing personally. If it looked like it would be really good, I would have tried it, but it looks, I don't know, it just doesn't look like my thing. Now, Release the Spice, again, looks really, really good. It looks like another Battle Girl genre type thing, and it reminds me a lot of, sorry, my nose itches. It reminds me a lot of what was it, Princess Principal. It reminds me a lot of that. So I'm excited to try to give it a chance because it looks quite good. I mean, it doesn't really look as good as Princess Principal, but I guess we'll see. And it's an original, so that could mean really good things, maybe. Fairy Tail 2018. Speaking of me liking things that aren't that good, I do like Fairy Tail, or did for a very long time, but it is hot butt cheeks. It is not great. Even though I love it, it's not very good, like, at all. But I fell behind the anime after the Tartarus arc. After the Tartarus arc, both anime and manga, I was just like, I was so upset with the story direction and how crappy it went, that arc, and how disappointing that arc was. So that arc really threw me back on the series, and I read some of the manga after that, but yeah, I'm not caught up. I'm behind on things, so until I catch up, I'm not going to be watching the new final Fairy Tail series yet. Then we have Ulysses Jeanne d'Arc to Renki no Kishi. This looks interesting. The PV looked pretty good, but the story description seems really weird. So between that, or actually the story description doesn't look that bad, but I think the PV looked good, but very, very weird and odd, and I'm just not sure what to think of it. And for a show that I really wasn't sure what to think of it that strongly, I'm not going to watch it week to week when, like I said, I got like 20 shows I want to check out week to week. Then Anima Yell, looks like it's cute. I'm going to check it out. It's another cute girls doing cute things thing, with the theme this time being cheerleading. At first, from the artwork, I thought they were lollies, which had me a little bit more interested in how cute it was going to be, but I don't think they are, so maybe it's not as cute as what I'm thinking it's going to be. But either way, I want to at least give it a try. Shudengo Capsule Hotel de Joshin de. It's an ecchi romance. It's not really totally my thing, and it's a short form as well. I think that it was kind of my thing before I watched this one short form ecchi romance. It was really creepy. And then I tried to watch another, and it was really creepy. And I just sort of came to the conclusion that, man, so many of these ecchi romances are just really creepy. And it kind of soured me on them a bit. So, again, if it's your thing, give it a shot, but it's not mine. Now, I could even see myself reviewing this one, maybe. Gaikotsu Shotenin Honda-san. At first I saw it and I was like, I don't like this art style. It's too kind of Americanized, I guess. It's not really my thing when it comes to anime. But then I watched the PV, and the PV was hilarious. I loved the PV. It reminds me so much of an Adult Swim cartoon. It looks like a Japanese-made Adult Swim cartoon. And that's kind of how I felt about, what is it, Inferno Cop? And I hope I'm not getting that wrong. It is Inferno Cop, right? Not Hell Cop, that's a different thing. I don't know. Inferno Cop, the one by Trigger, Inferno Cop and Space Patrol Luluco, those were both kind of like Adult Swim cartoons made by a Japanese producer. But that's what this feels like and seems like with the art style, the comedy style. It's totally what it seems like. But it seems really more creative than that. It seems like it's its own special thing, which is why I really want to give it a shot. than Himote House. I will admit, like, I think it was Senraikai who said the same thing, that they were a little bit disappointed to find out it was short form, but they're still going to be watching it. That's kind of me. I was like, oh, cute girls doing cute things in the same house series. I'm so excited. A comedy with that concept. I love comedies with that concept. And then I found out it's short form, and so I'm a little less interested. But I'll still be watching it. Still be giving it a try. Golden Kamuy second season. I need to finish the first season before I can watch it. I liked what I watched of the first season, though, and I'm really happy for Geno Studios to start out with Kokoku being their first anime, and I loved it. Then Golden Kamuy being so successful because people are really big fans of the manga. So I do want to catch up and watch it eventually, just not weekly. Matona no Boguya-san. I couldn't find much information about it, and I'm already watching so much that I was like, I'll just catch it some other time. Don't need to watch it week to week. Hashiri Tsuzukete Yokatete Tete. Okay. Yeah, this one, I don't even remember this one. Oh, it's the one about voice acting. Yeah, it's a voice acting short form. Not really my thing. I looked into it. Not really my thing. It looks alright, but not enough to watch weekly. Idolmaster Side M, I think this is the second... oh no! Idolmaster Side M aired, I think, 2 years ago, and this is their... there's one character I really like from Idolmaster Side M, talking like just character design and game-wise. But I don't even know that they were in the anime, so I'm not really watching the side chibi anime of it either. I want to get into those idol anime because so many people I know are into them, but I've never really gotten into any big idol anime series. Tokyo Ghoul Re Saishusho. I didn't watch the first season of Tokyo Ghoul Re. Even though I did watch the first 2 seasons, I watched Tokyo Ghoul and Rude. I just haven't been up to date with Tokyo Ghoul in general. I want to watch it eventually, just I'm not caught up to it, so I can't watch it weekly. Conception, this is going to be the weirdest one. I almost want to review it because it's so weird. I could not find any information about this series for the longest time. In the description of this guy who has to have children with the 12 maidens based on constellations, sounds weird as hell. It sounds like the weirdest thing. Like, I kept saying, like, on Twitter and stuff, what the fuck is Conception? And I will still say, what the fuck is Conception? Like, it seems so weird, and I looked it up and found the game it's based off of, and it's kind of like, it was described as kind of being like the Persona series, but you have to, like, build your relationship with these girls in order to have star children with them and use the star children to fight or something like that, and it just seems like the weirdest shit. But that's why I want to watch it, is because it seems like the weirdest shit. That and the character. Usually when you see character model artwork in series, it can kind of help you indicate how good the animation's going to be. That's not always a true rule, but you can kind of use that as an idea. And the character design artwork looks really high quality, which makes me think the animation or anime is gonna be pretty good. So I'm gonna try it out just because it's really weird, and the concept of having 12 waifus all based on the constellation seems pretty neat. So there is that concept of it, I guess, but it seems so odd. It just seems so weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's something else I was gonna say, but I completely forgot. Oh yeah, the character designs. Look at these character designs and tell me that the face shapes, the hair shapes, the coloring style, and the depth of color, tell me it doesn't remind you of ReZero's character designs. I wonder if it's the same person doing the character designs for this anime, because it looks a lot like ReZero's anime artwork when it comes to character designs. Again, I only watched like 1 episode of ReZero, but I've seen like a million pictures of the characters and all that, and like, I don't know, GIFs from the anime. Either way, Origatsuki nano wa imoto dakeru imoto janai. It's another siscon love comedy. So if you're into siscon love comedies, probably for you, not for me. It's this weird thing where the idea of a siscon love comedy doesn't really bother me. I'm like, okay with that, whatever. But when it comes to any of the ones I've actually seen, I've never actually seen them and liked them because they always come off as kind of creepy. Which is like, for some reason I don't find the concept itself kind of creepy, but I find the execution to be almost every time. So I feel like if somebody really executed a sitcom well, I would really like it. Now then, I will say I haven't watched the one about the aren't they all about manga? That's another thing with sitcoms. They're almost always about manga authors, and this one's about a light novel author, I think? Yeah, it is. But yeah, there's a bunch. But I haven't watched the one, Imoto Sarabai or whatever, with the white-haired lolly. I haven't watched that one. That one looks like it's pretty good, though. People generally seem to like it, so maybe I would like it. Who knows? Beelzebub Joe no Okina Misumama. This seems like, again, the kind of thing I would like, and then I watched the PV, and I was like, maybe it isn't the kind of thing I would like. The PV kind of made me think, you know what? I don't need to watch this weekly. So, yeah, it looks like it's going to be interesting. It looks like it's kind of my thing, but the animation didn't look very good. Next up, we got Karakuri Circus, which looks like it could be really hit or really miss, but the character design and the story idea seems just so interesting and so different that it's going to be on Amazon Video or Amazon Prime. Okay, I've watched an Amazon Prime show before. Yeah, Karakuri Circus just looks like it's going to be an odd one. Oh yeah, Amazon Prime, Joshin-chan is Amazon Prime. That's what it is. I'm currently still not caught up to it. So Karakuri Circus, we'll see. Could be totally hit, could be totally miss, but it looks interesting. It looks very weird. And then yet another good-looking isekai, Merc Storia, the rest of that title. Merc Storia looks really interesting. It makes me really, really want to watch it. So it's going to be another one that I'm going to be trying to watch, and maybe even review if it's something you want me to. The second season of Senran Kagura, I have a lot of people that I know from the internet who are big fans of Senran Kagura. So, yeah. I haven't watched the first season, but I kind of want to get into it. I kind of want to try it. So, yeah, I will try this eventually. Just can't watch it weekly because I haven't seen the first season. Next up, Tsurune Kazemai Koko Kyudobu. So this is another one. It's KyoAni and the animation looks amazing, but it's a sports anime about an archery club. And again, you know, sports anime, not totally my thing. Full male cast, usually not totally my thing. But it does look like it's going to be really good. Just not as good as that one racing anime earlier. I don't know if it's foot racing or bike racing. But it just doesn't look quite as good as that for me to try out. Next up, Ingress, the animation. Again, it looks interesting, the concept, but the PV didn't look all that impressive, and I'm already watching so many other shows that I was like, I can catch it some other time if I catch it at all. Then Hanyakusei Million Arthur. Again, I watched the PV, the animation didn't look great, but there were some cute character designs, and it made me want to just give it a chance. This is one that I could end up dropping, I could end up falling behind on, but I'm going to give it a chance at least. And then a leftover second season of a short form that I didn't watch. So, yeah, that's basically how things are right now. So I've gone through every series, and this has ended up being, wow, kind of very long, as most other people's videos I saw have ended up being. But I guess that's the price you pay going into detail on all the series airing in an entire season. So I'll go back through so you can see the ones that I plan to watch, and I will tell you the ones that I feel like I'm most likely to want to review. We've got Million Arthur here, we got Merc Storia, Karakuri Circus, Conception. I could see myself reviewing just because of how odd it seems. Himote House, Gaikotsu Shotenin Honda-san, Anima Yell. Release the Spice, I could, if it's really good, I can see myself reviewing it because I like the concept and the PV was good. Goblin Slayer, same thing, it looks great, it has a good hype behind it. I could see myself reviewing it. Same with Gridman, because I love Trigger, and I could see Trigger redeeming themselves with this being a really, really good show. Radiant looks surprisingly amazing, which makes me want to watch it. Irizuku Sekai no Ashita Kara, I could review it, but I'm definitely watching it. It looks amazing, like it could be anime of the season already. Hasn't even started airing. Akoshias Chitose-san, cute little short form. Uchi no Maid ga Uzasugiru looks amazing. I am so excited to watch it, and I could review it as well as a comedy. Towaru Jutsu no Index 3, obviously I'm going to be reviewing it. I'm a huge fan of the franchise. Yagate Kimi ni Naru, representing Shoujo Ai, again, could review Tonari no Kyuuketsuki-san, because it's a vampire comedy, and I love supernatural comedies. Zombieland Saga looks amazing, because I love Mappa, and I love the zombie genre, so I'm really excited for it. D-Ride D Tokigoe no Derera looks really, really good too, and I love the story concept behind it. Sora to Umi no Aida again looks great and has a really good story concept behind it. I could review either of those. Kazuga Tsuyoku Fuiteru looks great too. Again, like I said about the one about the girl going back in time, this looks like it could be an anime of the season type thing. It looks incredible, like movie quality. Jingai-san no Yome, just a short form I'll be checking out. Tensei Shitara Slime Data Ken, another really good looking isekai. Akenasasu Shoujo looks really good and really creative on its own. And Double Decker Doug and Kirill looks like a really creative action that kind of reminds me of Goro Vanishing Line. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on everything airing this season, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So I'm going to end it before my battery dies, because the CPU fan is freaking out for whatever reason, probably because it's September, the end of September, and it is so friggin' hot. It is unreasonably hot. And then I saw somebody I follow on Twitter saying it was like 60 degrees in Texas today. How on earth is it 60 degrees there and it is so freaking hot here in September? But either way, whatever. Like you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you think about these shows and what you want me to review or to watch. And what you want me to talk about on the channel too. We can always talk on Discord or Twitter, so if you want to, other than subscribing for any of these and more, any of these I decide to review and more, you can follow on Twitter and I can keep you updated there and stuff for the channel, or you can talk to me there if you want. Or if you want, the Discord server is free and open for anyone. So yeah, I guess ask and I'll give you a link to the Discord server if you want to talk to me or more of us there. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.